Welcome into Longhorn Extra, everybody. I'm Lowell Galindo. Kevin Dunn will join us later in the show. You may have heard that Texas men's basketball has a new head coach. I've got a new co-host. It's the same guy, Shaka Smart. Coach, what do you make of this first trip here to Austin, Texas? How's everything going?
It's going terrific. So excited to be here. I have my family here with me, and we just got done with the press conference. Got a chance to meet some of the players, and just looking forward to getting to work.
So if your playing style is described as havoc, how would you describe everything you've gone through this first day?
Chaos. It's definitely been chaotic, not just today, but yesterday and this week overall. But, you know, I'm just so excited to be here. I think, you know, University of Texas, the name speaks for itself. The brand speaks for itself. For us, as a family, we're so excited to be a part of this community. Now,
Arizona head coach Sean Miller says you're one of his favorite people because you are truly yourself. So who is Shaka Smart, especially once we get away from basketball?
Well,
if you can get away.
My wife's sitting back there. Maybe you should bring her up here and ask her.
She's saying no.
Who I am, but you know, I love basketball, and I love being around a group of guys that are committed to a common cause, moving a program forward, trying to win games, trying to win championships. You know, I really had a strong bond with players I've coached in the past, and that's what I would love to help create here at Texas.
And you have absolutely zero energy, do you?
I'm an energy guy. I think you can either be an energy giver or you can be an energy taker, and I'm certainly in the first category because that's the way to go about your life and about your job. I mean, my job is to coach the game of basketball and to help players move forward on and off the court. If you can't have energy to do that, then there's something wrong with you.
How much of that is youth, though, and how much of that is just who you are?
I don't know. Ask me in 30 years. But, you know.
You're still going to be diving on the floor of those drills?
Well, you know, I think your body obviously ages a little bit, but, you know, hopefully your mind and your enthusiasm stays as sharp as ever. You know, for me, I love competing and just being a part of something special. We've got a really good group of guys here that I'm looking forward to developing strong relationships with.
Before there was mutual interest between you and the University of Texas, what did you just think of Texas men's basketball whenever that came up to mind?
Well, you know, I remember watching TJ Ford and, you know, even going back before that. Watching guys like Terrence Rencher, you know, and then obviously KD in his time here, LaMarcus Aldridge. So the brand of Texas basketball has been a powerful brand, you know, in the time that I've really closely followed college basketball. And along with that, there's been a lot of success. You know, I've always respected that and looked upon that really favorably. I never seriously considered coming here until the opportunity came about, and then, you know, as I thought about it more and more and talked to my wife about it, it just made more and more sense.
Well, you mentioned TJ. Before we get into the thought process of why Texas, what did it mean to get that phone call from TJ?
Well, you know, a couple people had mentioned to me that TJ is a Pied Piper among the former players here at Texas, and you know, sometimes people say that, and it may or may not be true, but it's definitely true in this case.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, there's a reason why he led that team to the Final Four, beyond his talent. He has something about him as a leader, as a communicator, that is extremely unique. And, you know, last night, I told our players about my decision. I came up to our office. I met with some of those guys individually. And as soon as I was done with that, I was able to get on the phone with TJ. And he was so enthusiastic and so excited that it gave me energy. And he said, hey, as soon as we get off the phone, I'm going to text you LaMarcus Aldridge's number, Kevin Durant's number, and Royale Ivy's number, and I want you to hit those guys. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. And as soon as I called each of those three guys, they had just got off the phone with TJ.
Wow.
He's one of those guys, he sets you up. And it was great talking to those guys, their passion for this program, their willingness to help, and I really appreciate that.
So the plane touches down on Thursday with Steve Patterson in Richmond, Virginia. At that point, where are you with the thought process whether to stay or go?
Well, as I mentioned, at that point, we had done a whole lot of research and, you know, talked to a whole lot of people about Texas, just trying to, you know, figure out everything that we can. But we still hadn't met with Steve. You know, Steve runs the show, and you know, it was a very, very important time to get with him and, you know, talk about some things, get to know each other. But going into the meeting, we were extremely interested. It was something that we felt like, if presented with the opportunity, that we most likely were going to do. But we wanted to meet with him and get to know him first, and it was a terrific meeting. My wife Maya was a strong participant in it, and I think we came out of that meeting, I know we came out of that meeting with a great, great feeling about Texas and about us coming down here and starting a new life here.
So you make the decision. Your players at Virginia Commonwealth are gathered to meet with you. What was that moment like, just first walking into that room?
It was one of the most difficult things I've done in quite some time. You know, I have strong relationships with those guys. Those guys, to a man, signed at VCU to play for me. And, you know, it was a situation where I'd been there 6 years, and I easily could have been there 26 years. It's a place that I loved. My family loved it there. So my feeling, you know, for, you know, the past however many years was that I was going to coach these guys their whole career. And I'm fortunate in that I was able to coach quite a few guys at VCU for 4 years, and that's a special thing, to take a guy from the recruiting process to his freshman year, all the way through graduation, and then all the great things that he's able to do after college. But going into that meeting was really, really challenging, because I knew that I was going to have to tell those guys, I'm not going to be your coach anymore, and I'm not going to be here. For those guys, you know, it was a tough, tough night, and, you know, what I asked them to do is the same thing that we asked them to do on the court, which is respond, focus on the next most important thing. What can you do next? And, you know, I'm going to be available for them via phone, via text, as a resource, and I'm sure VCU will hire a terrific coach.
How did that compare to walking into the locker room to meet the Texas players before your introductory press conference?
Well, it's completely different. You know, on one hand, you're walking in and talking to a group of guys that you've, you know, shared blood, sweat, and tears with, and, you know, gone through all kinds of different experiences with. In our case, we won an Atlantic 10 championship, which was just a special bond that's created when you're able to do that as a team. And then, obviously, you're the bearer of bad news in that case, which is really, really hard, because you never want to cause people that you care about hurt. In the case of meeting the guys at Texas, and some of the guys weren't here because they went home for Easter, but the guys I was able to meet, that was a special opportunity for me, just to tell them, hey, I know sometimes there's anxiety and uneasiness with change, but I'm your coach now, and my job is to build a strong relationship with you. I'm here to help you become the best version of yourself. There's going to be a lot of work that goes into that. We're going to have to trust one another. We're going to have to care about one another, and today's just the first step.
Why is being a father figure to all these players such an important part of what you do individually as a coach?
I guess it means I'm getting old, because, you know, when I was a younger coach, people didn't talk about
only 37, so let's not age you that much.
But I think that, you know, for me, I grew up in a single parent home. My mom was really a mother and father for me, but I was fortunate to have some terrific male role models in my life, and some of them were coaches. So, you know, I think subconsciously that's part of what pushed me to go into coaching. Again, some of the guys at VCU that I was able to coach for a long time, those are relationships that I would put right up there, just below those with my immediate family.
Wow.
And that's the special thing about coaching.
Well, we talked about energy already, and that's been really one of the words that's used to describe the style of play that you preach. I'm believing that when I hear you in video clips talking about the madman in your system. What is the madman in your approach?
Well, You wouldn't be a very good madman, and neither would I, because we're not that tall.
That's a good point.
In the way we play, the madman's a guy on the ball when the other team takes the ball out of bounds. So it may be in the full court, it may be when the ball's underneath their own basket, or even on the side. But what the madman does is goes crazy. And hopefully he's got really, really long arms like Prince eBay. And hopefully he's really loud and really obnoxious to the guy taking the ball out of bounds. But what we want to do is we want to create deflections. We want to create bad passes on the part of the other team and just take them out of what they want to do.
And when you mentioned the height, I do need to throw a special shout out and thank you to men's athletic director Steve Patterson for 2 brilliant hires in a row, Charlie Strong and Shaka Smart, for bringing it back down to my level. So I want to thank him for that.
Well, I think of the 3, I'm the tallest. I noticed that today when I was on the football field, and then I kind of sized you up a little bit when I walked in here.
I've got the hair, but Charlie's got the biceps.
He does.
He does.
He's got both of us beat on that.
Well, the 3 of us.
Mr. Strong.
That's a fearsome trio right there. Shaka, congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us here on Longhorn Network.
Thanks so much, and I really look forward to being here quite a bit.
Appreciate it.